So kind of the stuff that you guys were talking about here earlier today. It's great news. But what you're starting to see now, a lot of problems with the growing youth of the city. And when I talk about that age group, I'm thinking about the 12 to 16 year olds that we have in our city. The problem with them is that they seem to be emulating a lot of what they see either in the media, what they see happening in other cities, and they want to be that way. And I fault a number of things. One is our level of denial. If you ask people in Rio Rancho maybe about 3, 4, 5 years ago, do we have a gang problem? They'll adamantly say, no, you're going to bring down my property value. You're going to give us a black eye. We don't have a gang problem. Kind of like we don't have a drunk driving problem. No. But so now I think we're at the point where we're admitting it. Yes, there's a growing gang problem. We need to do something about it. So with that being said, I got together with Freddie. Freddie and I met when I got over here. I don't know if any of you have been to Southern California, San Diego area, the Alberto style food, very popular over there. And that's where Freddie learned to cook his style of food. And I sat and talked to him, and I found out that he's from the same city I grew up in, which was Vista, California. Same type of deal, very same. Slow growth problems, quick growth problems, needing people to shop in town, they weren't doing it. Kids had nothing to do, I know, he knows. Kids had nothing to do, so they got in trouble. They started emulating what they saw happening in Los Angeles, and next thing you know, there's a gang problem. So with that, he and I got together, we thought of this program that we called Operation Turnaround. And what I wanted to do, I didn't want it to become Scared Straight. Okay? What it ended up being was we got some people who have turned their life around, not necessarily gang members or hardcore gang members, but people who have been on the bad side of the law, turned their life around, and they've seen it. They understand. They saw the light, and they changed. So what we also did was we brought in somebody that was a judge, a magistrate court judge, and he kind of gave them he illustrated for them what it's going to be like when they get arraigned for an adult crime. He went up there and he talked to them and he served it straight. He didn't hold anything back. We had some other referral services there too. CYFD, juvenile probation parole, other people that are there to help the families and these kids. So that way, if they do want to turn their life around, they have someone to go to. And like I said, I didn't want this to be Scared Straight, because if they go scared straight, we're just scaring them for a couple days and then they get over it and they go back to doing what they're doing. We wanted to get them an out. The thing that I tried to emphasize with a lot of the kids was that we wanted the parents to be there. Now, what we did is we put out some promotional stuff. This is initially back in May. Unfortunately, we had everything all planned, and then President Obama came and visited, so I got preempted by the president. Who can say that? Okay, right? So we had to wait till the school year started again, put on the program, a little bit lower key than what we had before. We didn't have the same people that we had back in May, and we just did it on last Thursday. It was Operation Turnaround. You saw Freddie there in the paper, and I think it's a success so far because we had a great turnout. My only concern is that we didn't get the parents there. We had, out of 50 kids, we had 3 parents, and this is how proactive we were, Michelle. We actually got names. We know a lot of where these kids are. We know where they live. We knocked on their doors. Hi, Mom and Dad. We'd like you to come to this event. We know your son or daughter, and we've had experience with your son or daughter before, and this is the type of thing that we're noticing, and we think it's going to become a problem. We'd like you to come. Oh yes, officer, I'll be there, no problem. 3 parents out of 50 kids.
What location did you do that?
We did it at Rio Rancho High School and the Performing Arts Center. We could have seated 650 people. So, I'm going to turn it over to Freddie right now. He's going to talk a little bit about what he said and hopefully the impact that he had on the kids.
Hey guys. My name is Freddie. I'm not good of a speaker like he is, so I'm going to try my best. Yeah, we did that event last week, and just what I wanted to do was I wanted to show, give the kids my example of how I got into you know, in San Diego, like Andy was saying, in a town called Vista, gangs are out in the open. You know, you can go to the park and you see gang members actively open. We don't see that here, you know, not yet at least. You do see it in some neighborhoods around in Rancho. The way I got started to get into trouble is with a family member. Usually when you're a kid and growing up, you listen to a family member and you listen to grown-ups. So if your cousin, if your brother, or somebody says, hey, do this, more than likely you're going to go and do it and listen to them. And whatever they do, like you were saying, you're going to want to do it, the same thing. You know, you look up to your older brother. So that's how I got started. My older brother introduced me to his friends. That led to me becoming friends with them. And I didn't realize that there was actually gangs that are waiting for kids, your grandkids. There's actually people waiting for them. At the schools, at the streets, there's gang members that are waiting for them. Gangs is just another word for organized crime. You know, you might think of a gangster and you might say, oh, you know what, he has tattoos, he has all this, and that's a mistaken identity. It's not really what it is. We have such a double standard in our society. You can go and buy, at the store, you can go and buy marijuana pipe, crack pipe. You know, you can go to a school. I mean, you can find drugs at any school, just about. So I was listening to the wrong crowd. I didn't listen to my parents. I didn't listen to my teachers until I got into a club called Club Challenge. And that's why me and Andy were trying to start something like that. Club Challenge is a middle school that took all the kids that were in the neighborhood and showed them a different style. You know, instead of going and doing graffiti, we went to go paint it. You know, we went to paint over it. We went to go paint. We did a lot of trash cleanup, like the you know, keep your rancho beautiful that they do here. But kids need that these days. You know, kids have so many things to keep their mind busy. With the computers, with the iPods, with the video games, with the magazines. They're being told what to do by somebody else, not by the parents. If you would spend 1 hour, half an hour with each of your kids, it would change dramatically their behavior. They won't listen to those kids. Because kids listen to what they see, not to what they hear. So you can tell them as much as you want, but if they see their friends having fun doing drugs, that's what they're going to want to do. You know, when you're in high school, the biggest thing is to do what your friends tell you. You know, they're like, oh, I dare you, let's ditch class, you know, let's go. And they'll do it. You know, they'll try to prove their friend that they're, you know, better than them. My brother right now, he's actually in prison right now. He was in prison when I was in 8th grade, 7th grade. It's the first time he went to prison. And to a little brother, to have an older brother go to prison, it's really, really hard. You don't understand. You kind of get upset and angry, but not at him, but at the world. And you kind of want to be more wild and more crazy and be